So Al, how do you feel like the barn build is going?
I think it's going really good.
So this morning, I'm gonna be leaving the farm and leaving Peacham and going on a bit of a field trip. But first, release the quackers! Sure is a nice day here on the farm. A little cool, but it should get a lot hotter today. Got a couple more ducks still up in the house laying. The geeslings want to be let out now too. Good morning, geeslings! How's it going, guys? Alright, everybody get down. Release the geese! Out you go! You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Hey, geeslings. How are you doing, guys? Huh? Come on. Yeah, all the geese are looking good again this morning, too. They just keep growing and growing. And they actually keep feeding them less and less. But they're just getting bigger and bigger. And you can even hear it, right? Sort of like prepubescent geese honks. Like they're getting away from making their usual peep and now making the honk. As you can kind of see here, the geese have done a nice job of eating down this pasture. I'm probably only going to keep them here about one more day before they make another pasture move, probably somewhere over there. So I'm finding that with 2 rolls of Premier 1 electric poultry netting, which is the type of fencing we have there, that gives them about a week's worth of grazing. I wouldn't want to keep them in a spot any longer than a week either, because I'd worry a little bit about parasites potentially developing. The geese system that I've been trying to develop is working pretty well. Oh, look, this goose is taking a bath. Oh, getting all clean? Uh-oh. Looks like most of my ducks are on my neighbor's property. I think they like the shorter grass because it's easier to find slugs. I better bring them back. There you go. Come on, out you guys go. Release the mini quacking. You're definitely Samuel and Jemima's child. Ducklings keep getting bigger and bigger. Not too long and they'll be actually introduced to the rest of the flock. Lil, don't you get any cute ideas. Got that? Now I know you guys are sick of hearing me talk about our barn probably at this point. Now, we've got this giant, beautiful barn. I'm working on trying to save it. But one of the issues I've brought up in other videos is it's not really a modern agricultural structure. And as I think about what we're doing here on the farm, one of the things I'm trying to plan out right now is like looking out into the future. what sort of outbuildings am I going to need? What sort of structures are going to be required for the farm that we ultimately want to have? Right now, we really only have 3 outbuildings. We have this shed right here that's starting to fall apart. We have the gigantic barn, and then we have the duck house way out there that's basically a retrofitted 3-sided hay shed. I'm in the process right now of building a new duck house, and so that's coming along pretty well. That should be ready by the fall. But that's like more like a coop. That's not a big structure. That's not like a workshop. That's not a place where I could store vehicles or do repairs or, you know, house and brood animals if I needed to. It's just a small, simple off-grid structure. Now, one concept I've been exploring is buying a prefabricated building. The beauty of the prefabricated buildings are that they are kits that show up here at the farm. You assemble them yourself. Relatively speaking, they're a lot cheaper than trying to build a building from scratch. The problem with prefabricated buildings, though, is that they are ugly. Now, usually these prefabricated buildings are these metal structures that are pretty gross and ugly looking. But my buddy Al Lumnah over at Lumnah Acres,
good morning, modern steaders.
He has actually been in the process of building a post and beam barn from a kit. So there's a company actually right here in Vermont that builds these post and beam kits, and they're pretty darn affordable, and everything's already pre-cut to fit and work. And so all you have to do is figure out a slab or some sort of foundational structure and throw the thing up. That is pretty appealing to me. So today I'm going on a field trip to Lumnah Acres to go help Al build this barn. Cue the travel montage. So Al, how do you feel like the barn build is going?
I think it's going really good.
So why did you decide to build a barn from a kit?
This way, everything is made and laid out. The big thing is being one guy trying to build the barn. If I had to cut all the lumber, it would take a lot more time. And you know, our short growing seasons or our short nice weather seasons, it's nice to be able to, if I have everything pre-cut, I can just stop building and get it done in a lot shorter amount of time.
Right, and so, but like you've done this whole building all yourself, just...
Everything so far has been done either by myself or with my wife and my daughter.
How long do you expect the whole process to take?
The building we're in right now, they say start to finish should take 2 guys 32 hours. So it'd be 64 hours of man time. I figure right now the way it sits, I probably have like 25 hours.
And like, so what else do you have to build? Show me.
So we gotta put in the man doors. Up above, up high, we're gonna have a transom window. So we gotta finish framing that in, put the window in. The kit either comes with a garage door, 9-foot wide garage door, or you could get some really nice wood doors. But for us again, the wood doors look nice, but they swing out. So if we get too much snow in the wintertime, I would have loved to have the wood doors because I would have just given it another nice look.
Like I'm picturing like, yeah, like an IKEA kit, right?
Right.
And it's like you got instructions and all these weird label parts. Is that how it works? Or?
So we grab a board. Let's see, these ones might have a label. So right here, every board comes with a label on it telling you what it's for. And it's color coded, so yellow, I think yellow is siding. And then like red is roof, black is.
You even got your name on it.
Yeah, every board has a label on it. You know, you got your instructions and everything. It's color coded and tells you what you need, what part number.
Oh, that doesn't seem that hard at all.
No.
Like, is this something like a beginner, like horribly inexperienced craftsman like myself could actually try to tackle?
You have built stuff in the past and you know how to run a hammer, run a level, and all like the basic stuff.
Right.
Yeah, you could build this.
Wow.
Because you don't got to worry about any of your special cuts. You just got to be able to be able to build something square, run a screwdriver, run a hammer, tape measure, be able to make sure everything's square and level and plumb.
I find that like I can get like I rush too much, right? Like I'm like, all right, let's just get this done, get it done, get it. Like we were even working over there, and you're like, oh no, let's take our time.
I think that's the biggest thing, is taking your time to make sure all your measurements are right.
Right.
And it's like, if not, at the end you're gonna be fighting everything. If you take your time, double check your measurements, at the end it's like everything goes together a lot smoother.
So what are you planning on doing here in this space?
So this space is going to be our workshop / garage. So this area right here, back here, I'll have some workbenches set up. We'll have our woodworking tools. If I need to get my truck or a tractor in here in the wintertime, I have a place to work. Over here, on this side, it's not done yet, but we're going to be doing an 8-foot. Our walls are going to come out another 8 feet. So you're going to walk in right here to the barn. You're going to have your milking room and where we're going to keep all of our grain and feed. And then back here is where our goat stalls are gonna be. So we'll have a nice clean milking room and grain, and right now everything's in the house and we got our goat barn there, so every time when we gotta feed, we gotta go into our basement, get the feed, and bring everything out. So it'll be a lot more convenient to have everything in one building.
And you've been finding that like going this route is better than say like an aluminum building or metal building?
Price-wise, it's the same price, if not cheaper. And for me, I'd rather look at a nice wooden building than a metal building. And for me, like if I want to customize this later on, or if I'm like, oh man, I want to add, say, a cow, and this stall isn't deep enough, I could come inside here, that's post and beam. Say if I want to make like a back stall 2 feet wider, I could take down these boards, leave the post up, make a wall, so then I would have a 10-foot deep stall. You know, it's a lot more customizable than a steel building.
I've been spending so much time in our barn, right? And I, spend a lot of time looking at these, post and beam kind of joints and how it all comes together, and realizing that it was sort of like an old-fashioned way to just hack together what you needed for that time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it looks nice.
Yeah.
It's something nice to look at.
Cool. Should we get back to work?
We can.
It might just be because we're both guys of a certain age who grew up in New England, but every time that Al and I make a video together, I feel like we always default into an episode of This Old House. I'm just so impressed with that building he's building. I mean, it's basically just a flat pack kit that showed up at his house, and he was able to just put it all together just himself. I mean, even today while I was helping him, I wasn't really helping him. I was like being an extra set of hands. He had all that stuff covered. I mean, to go build a new post and beam structure from a kit of, pre-cut lumber, it looks great. Like if I picture that structure that Al's got going on my farm in place of one of my outbuildings right now, it would easily feel in place. It wouldn't feel incongruent. It wouldn't feel like it stood out. It would feel like it belongs there. And I don't know. I guess it's given me some things to think about here. So if you guys want to see more of what Al's building and watch more Lumnah Acres stuff, be sure to check out this video right here. And I will be back soon here on Goldshaw Farm, where we are trying to build a farm in Vermont.